Irene Viller is a self-proclaimed abortion addict, all right? And she has written a book called Impossible Motherhood, Testimony from an Abortion Addict. And she has had 15 abortions over 17 years. And she literally says that she was addicted to the way it made her feel, okay? She says, slowly my days took on a balancing act. There was a specific high. I would get my period and be sad, then discover I was pregnant, being afraid, yet so excited. And the reason why she became addicted to abortions is because she said that her husband at the time said that having kids killed sexual desire between a couple, right? So she decided to get some strange random strike back by not taking her birth control pills and getting pregnant. And then she would go and abort the fetus, right?
So how's that strike back? Because you wind up getting the abortion anyway.
Exactly. And
15 times.
Yeah, 15 times. And she never, well, she says that she doesn't even think her husband or her ex-husband now even knew about all the times that she had the abortions.
Look, let's keep it real. This woman is mentally disturbed. Now, there's a lot of different ways to be mentally disturbed. I'm not saying that, you know, she needs to be locked up at an institution, but she has a significant, you know, psychological problem. And so her explanation doesn't make any sense because, of course, getting pregnant over and over again and having 15 abortions doesn't make any sense. I mean, at least she partly admits it now, you know, that she was addicted to abortion. And it's an absolutely crazy world, man. I mean, from the Heens with their crazy hoaxes and the balloons, etc., and how they raise their kids, to this woman. I mean, there's so many different people out there that you're going to run into a bunch of lunatics. And, you know, you got Octomom, you got her, and they're lunatics in the exact opposite direction. But she says she's got it under control now, and she's got a couple of kids, right?
Yeah, she has 2 kids. She remarried, and now she's in Denver, and she says that she's completely normal and everything's fine. But she says that her book explains more why she was so addicted to abortions. And she says, you know, she compares her addiction to eating disorders, which I think is 2 completely different things. I mean, you can't compare this to an eating disorder.
Yeah, no. So pro-choice movement is actually really pissed about this because she's abusing the liberty that she has, right? So, and it disturbs everybody. Now, we're not going to stop her, right? Because then you have to stop everybody, and you get into people's choice, and that's part of the liberty that we have. And sometimes people abuse the liberties that they have. But it, you know, it's obviously terrible, and so then the pro-life movement is saying, see, and they're trying to portray her in some ways, and then they're asking her, hey, why don't you become part of the pro-life movement? And she says, look, as you know, people can certainly question what I did, but I still think pro-choice is the right way to go because since I was addicted and I had this, you know, weird thought in my head, I was going to do it no matter what, and if I kept doing it illegally, I probably would have died. You know, and that's a fair and interesting point, too. But look, we can't let the extreme cases, obviously, affect everybody's liberty. If you take the extreme case of speech and say, you know what, we're going to limit freedom of speech because Glenn Beck is abusing it, or whoever it might be. It might be a crazy guy on the right or left or out in, you know, literally in left field, right? But this is obviously a terrible case, man, and she's, I'm glad at least she's got it under control. But lastly, the thing that bothers me about it is that she's now trying to attract attention with it.
Yeah, exactly. I had a problem with that too. She's profiting from a crazy addiction that she had. I don't see her book helping other women.
Yeah, well, who else is addicted to abortions? I mean, what, 2 or 3 people in the country? No, this whole helping other people by telling my story, it's getting abused for people who are just who are attention whores and trying to get famous. Now, you know, we talked about it earlier in the show. Everybody is obsessed with becoming famous. Right. And whether it's the Heens, whether it's Michael Lohan, or whether it's this woman. And so they're doing crazier and crazier things to grab people's attention. And that's a real problem in America. It really is, because it's only going to get worse going forward. Because it's harder to get that attention. And you got to do more extreme things.
You're right.